It's time for last call. Let's take a look at the most bet player props going into conference championship weekend. Lamar Jackson at the top of the board, rushing yards over 64.5. That's a minus 140 now. Patrick Mahomes passing touchdowns over 1.5. Lamar Jackson passing touchdowns over 1.5 plus 140. CMC rushing attempts under 20.5. Jared Goff passing touchdowns over 1.5. Jay, what are you looking at on the board this weekend?
Yes, a lot of big names there. Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Christian McCaffrey. So give me Josh Reynolds over 35.5 receiving yards. He's quietly emerged as their wide receiver too. He played 86% of the snaps against the Rams, 78% last week, and they were just in a run script, so they didn't have to target him too much. But in the game where they're 7.5-point dogs, perfect conditions, think that Goff will need to be throwing, and Josh Reynolds just as a wide receiver too in obviously a must-win matchup. 35.5 is too low for me.
Matthew, what about you?
So I'm going with two bets for San Francisco. Again, we already talked about this earlier. Brock Purdy. I actually like him at an alt line, 300 passing yards at plus 160, I should say. Remember, again, the Lions have given up over 300 passing yards in 5 straight games, including to Nick Mullins twice and Baker Mayfield. Perfect weather as well. So I think Purdy, in a game in which they'll struggle to run, but they should be able to throw. Give me Brock Purdy over 300 yards on an alt line at plus 160. And I also like the over on George Kittle's receiving yards at 61.5. So Kittle's been over this number in like 4 of the past 6 games. And in games over the last 2 years in which Deebo Samuel hasn't played, he's got a 30% target share as well. Lions really struggle against the tight end. Cade Otton had a huge game last week against the Lions as well. So I think Kittle, who should get extra attention, I'm not expecting Deebo to play, or if he does, he'll be less than 100%. Give me the over on Kittle at 61.5.
Lawrence?
Yeah, like that. Give me alt line for Lamar Jackson's 70 rushing. Yeah, shocker. I mean, besides obvious reasons, the Chiefs, Willie Gay, who was spying Josh Allen, he's a little banged up, and even when he wasn't, he couldn't stop Josh Allen. So you damn sure going to have problems with Lamar in that. So, you know me, I'm always the plus money, so give me that plus 105.
There it is. I'm thinking the same thing as you. Quarterbacks running in this game. Mahomes over 26.5 rushing yards. He only had 19 last weekend, but 41 rushing yards against the Dolphins. And the most important thing is he's going to look to run in this game. You need everything's on the line in this game. Yeah. It's a great defense. One thing you can capitalize on is maybe picking up some free first downs with your legs.
Yep. He's just never on the field against the Bills, which is the crazy thing.
Yeah.
They average 7.7 yards per play, but they just never had the ball because the Bills were running so effectively.
That's the only concern there with that bet, is that I think the Ravens will run effectively in this one as well. But to your point, they'll get after the quarterback, and he's
got to run for his life.
He's got to run for his life.
About it.
There's no question about it. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and Rotoworld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.